that killed 59 people and injured more than 500.
And KRON 4's Spencer Blake is live in Las Vegas this morning. Spencer, you've been talking to some Bay Area survivors of the shootings. What did they share with you?
Well, you know, they were right in the thick of it on Sunday night, and they said everyone was following their instinct to run, to get out. But the problem is it was hard to know where to go during all the chaos. Now, these two Bay Area men survived because they were lucky enough to find a place to hide. When bullets started flying, Brett Eastwood, like many others, thought some drunk person was shooting off fireworks. But he knew things were more serious than that when country star Jason Aldean ran off the stage.
The second round goes off, you hear it again, the same noise, and then next thing you know, we start to see people get hit and people hit the ground, and you could tell this was the real deal. This is actually a shooting going on. Unbelievable experience that, you know, we saw this.
Before the shooting started, one of his friends, Misha Yusinov from Danville, had just separated from their group to get closer to the stage. Then the chaos began, with people running in all directions, trying to figure out which way was the best option.
Everywhere we went that we thought might be safe, there was somebody else hit there. We moved to one spot, another spot, someone was hit there. The next spot, someone was hit there. So it was really hard just knowing that you have to make a decision, just take a step to the right, step to the left, and if you take the wrong step, that could be your last.
Finally, they were able to hide under some bleachers. Yusinov thought about calling family members, but instinctively started recording on his phone. He heard people calling out for loved ones, and he saw people trying to help others who were likely already dead.
We hid in an apartment across the street, about 30 of us. Some guy was taking people in.
Everyone in Yusinov and Eastwood's group was okay, at least physically. A Bay Area woman on a Vegas-bound flight Monday had originally planned to be at that Jason Aldean concert.
Kids and friends like, please, you know, are you there? You know, did you go? No, we didn't go. So had we been there, I can't even imagine.
24 hours after the massacre, Las Vegas has a slightly different feeling to it, maybe a little more somber, even close to the Strip. And I am live on the Strip right now, and you can see hotel after hotel. They've got their electronic billboards going, and as I look down, I see the Tropicana, the MGM, the Aria. They all have the same messages this morning, pleading for blood donations. They also have that hotline number you've been hearing about from the police department, telling people to call that number for information about missing or injured loved ones from that massacre Sunday night, guys.
Yeah, and talk about, Spencer, the situation with the wounded and the hospitals there, because we just talked about this morning. We found out that Stacey Etchebear, who was missing from Novato, that her husband had been looking for now 2 days and wasn't able to identify her until today. She was among the 59 people killed. How difficult is it to find your loved one in the hospital?
You know, I think that's one of the things that people are dealing with right now. I mean, just to give you an idea of what Las Vegas is like right now, this is the Strip. You can see the Mandalay Bay in the background. You can see how empty it is because there's still areas blocked off by police even as we speak. So with the investigation ongoing, it's hard for people to get to some places to a degree, especially around the scene of where it actually happened. And so people are trying to figure out where they need to go, where they need to look for those loved ones. So you can imagine why that would be difficult for people. As you said, even now it's been more than 24 hours since it happened. So again, I think that hotline number is really what's important and why they're trying to spread that out there, because they know that people are having difficulty tracking down their loved ones in some cases.
All right, thank you, Spencer. Spencer Blake reporting live for us from Las Vegas, and we will check back with him throughout the morning.
Yeah, we're going to continue to hear from survivors and their stories. KRON 4's Spencer Blake is live in Las Vegas this morning, and you've been talking to some Bay Area survivors of the shootings. What do they say?
Well, they were right in the thick of it. It's hard to talk to these people and hear the terror that they were going through. You're glad that they're okay, but at the same time, you know, hearing the intense moments that they were going through. One of them said it was the longest 8 minutes of his life. They were actually, they survived that shooting because they were able to find a place to hide. Somber, even close to the Strip. And a lot of you are probably very familiar with the Strip in Las Vegas from any visits you've made. There is a little bit of traffic coming out of the hotels, but this area that I'm standing on, this section, is still closed off to some degree, and it's amazing how dead it is. There have been people just walking across the center of the street because there's no strip traffic this morning. So again, things still very toned down. I'm just about a block away from Mandalay Bay, where there's still police tape blocking off that area that was where they're still gathering evidence from the crime scene. Guys?
All right, KRON 4 Spencer Blake live in Las Vegas, and we'll be checking back with him throughout the morning.
There are still a lot of people who perhaps don't know if their family members are injured or where their loved ones are. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department is urging people to go to the Family Reunification Center that they've set up rather than going to individual hospitals looking. They want to keep that burden off of hospital staffs. From the Las Vegas Strip, Spencer Blake, KRON 4 News. This morning, especially compared to what you might be used to if you've ever visited Las Vegas before. And take a look back about a block. You can see Mandalay Bay, the Golden Hotel. And as we bring the view in a little bit closer, look at the corner of the hotel closest to us. Above the stoplights there, you see a black dot on the corner of the hotel. That dot is the broken window that the shooter shot through when the massacre began.
And our KRON 4 Spencer Blake flew to Las Vegas.
And he joins us now live. And Spence, what's the atmosphere out there now? I can only imagine.
Yeah, you know, the atmosphere is something that a couple people have already commented to me about. You know, there typically is an atmosphere when you're flying to Las Vegas, for example, kind of a party atmosphere, even on the plane. You know, pilots, flight attendants telling jokes and over the loudspeaker, and people kind of in a party mood. And on the plane today from Oakland to Las Vegas, that was not the case. And I actually spoke with a woman, two women who were friends coming to Vegas, and they would have been at that concert. They had looked at it originally as part of their plans, part of their vacation, that they wanted to be at that concert to see Jason Aldean. So these would-be concert attendees really were, you know, explaining to me how they felt and how the mood was kind of heavy for them, even though they did decide to go ahead and make their trip to Las Vegas today. Imagine what was going through their mind knowing that they could have been at that very concert where over 50 people were killed just last night. And as I was talking to them, they said, you know what, we're still going to Las Vegas, and listen to the other plans they have.
I mean, our hearts are heavy, but we should do it. Staying home is really nothing we can do. Going, at least we have a chance. Maybe we can get blood. Maybe we can buy somebody dinner. Maybe there's something we can do, you know, even though we're there for ourselves, a little getaway, we can do something to help someone else, too, while we're there.
And I think that's what a lot of people are going to be doing, trying to find ways where they can help. Of course, everyone's still scrambling, trying to find out more information. That's what we're going to be working on for you tonight as well. But as the information comes in, a lot of people are just trying to figure out how can they help, what can they do. And we do know that blood drives are a big thing right now. Blood is very much needed for the over 500 people who were injured in that massacre last night. Now, right now, I'm about a mile or so south of Mandalay Bay. You can see the bright gold hotel over my shoulder. That is where the shooter was shooting from into the concert area. And coming up tonight on KRON 4 News, we're going to be bringing you the story of a Bay Area man who was there at the concert and survived. He wasn't injured, but again, was there for the terror, saw it all happen, had to run out. We're going to be talking with him, and we're also going to be following the story of the wife of a San Francisco police officer who is still missing. And there is a friend of the family who also got on a plane today, flew to Las Vegas, is trying to help find that police officer's wife who is still unaccounted for after this tragedy last night. So all of this is coming up later tonight on KRON 4 News. I'm going to be in Las Vegas, and I'll be bringing these stories to you throughout the evening. Live in Las Vegas, Spencer Blake, KRON 4 News.
All right, Spencer.
KRON 4 Spencer Blake just arrived in Las Vegas a short time ago. And Spencer, talk about the mood now, less than 24 hours after it happened. We understand you're not far from exactly where the shooting happened.
That's right. I'd say I'm about a mile or so south at the end of the Strip, or Las Vegas Boulevard. You can see Mandalay Bay, the Golden Hotel right there in the background. That's where the shooter fired those shots from, and then the concert was just next to it. So that's where I am here in Las Vegas, and I got here just a couple hours ago, or even less really, and I have heard multiple people tell me about how the mood here is different. I just picked up a rental car, and the man at the desk there was telling me that, first of all, the rental car place has been kind of dead today. Not as many people coming in as normal. And he also said that some of the people that were coming in had cut their vacation short. He'd heard from people who still had a week planned left to stay in Las Vegas for their fun-filled vacation, and they decided they wanted to get out. They wanted to head home early. Some of those people were at the concert and were so traumatized they just wanted to go ahead and head home. So the mood is very much different. And, you know, I spoke to some people on the plane from Oakland coming here to Las Vegas, and there were a couple of women who had planned on going to that concert. You can imagine that they and people who love them were worried about them.
I can't even tell you. Actually, we were just even today not being there, getting the phone calls from our family and our kids and friends like, please, you know, are you there? You know, did you go? No, we didn't go. So had we been there, I can't even imagine. We probably wouldn't have been here today because we would have been helping someone else. We wouldn't have left.
It's hard to imagine what that would have been like being a would-be concert going, having a near miss like that. But those women did tell me they plan on arriving and trying to help in some way, maybe finding one of the blood donation centers and donating that way. That's one of the big needs right now. Now, coming up later tonight on KRON 4 News, we're going to be bringing you the story of several people. One Bay Area man who also owns a condo here in Las Vegas was at the concert, and I'm going to go talk to him and hear the terror that was going through his mind. He is fine. He wasn't hurt, but anyone who was at that concert is going to be affected by this, and we'll bring you that story later tonight on KRON 4 News. Live in Las Vegas tonight, Spencer Blake, KRON 4 News.
Thanks, Spencer. We look forward